Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Essential USA Basketball Recap. So you guys will be doing this for both the women's and the men's national teams after exhibitions, games once they get over, hit the ground in Tokyo and whatnot, all the way to the end. Tonight, we told you guys last night on the focus what we were looking forward to. I think everybody here, I think it was a landslide about who we thought was going to win. That did end up coming to fruition. Team WNBA beat Team USA 93-85. Enrique Gumbawale, taking the MVP honors with 26 points. It's kind of a shout out to the people who had to choose because John Quayle had a masterpiece at the same time with 18 points, 14 boards, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. And shout out to Courtney Williams. Her 15 played a big role late. And, we're going to get straight to it. I know what some of our concerns and our reasonings for selecting who we selected to win tonight's game. So we're going to get straight to it. As always, we got Carter Dudley Jr., Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpe Jr. We appreciate you guys hanging with us tonight. Carter, we'll start with you tonight. Just your initial thoughts on tonight's game. Then we'll go to Ray.
It started off sloppy. The typical All Star game BS that unfortunately has become the norm. Not just on the women's side, but even on the men's side. But then, they tighten it up. Obviously, Lisa Leslie, Tina Thompson called the timeout. Like, don't forget what we're here for, kind of speech. And from that point on, they came out in kill mode. Enrique, she was torching from the beginning of the game and never really got cooled off. John Quayle, to me, she just solidified why I feel like she's the best player in the WNBA right now. Look at her versatility, 18, 14, and 4. 3 steals and 2 blocks in the All-Star game in 20-some minutes. You know what I mean? Like the many ways she impacts the game, there's really no one else that can match that right now. And we, and that's why when we talked about it on the show last night, I brought up Courtney Williams. She always up for the smoke. So if it's drama, if it's a do or die game, if it's a big game, she loved that. So she gonna show up, and she did. She especially in the clutch in the fourth. She had some big runners and big time threes and shots and stuff like that to make sure they stayed ahead, man. And I just felt like, basketball wise, I know we picked the WNBA, because we knew there was gonna be some players on that side that upset that probably feel like they should be on the USA team. Just looking at it basketball wise, I felt like the edge would be in the backcourt. You know what I mean? I thought the WNBA guards would be a little bit too athletic and skilled for the Sue Birds and all them to keep up with, and that's kind of what happened. Like they couldn't guard over Wale and they couldn't guard Courtney Williams, and then everybody else just had to pitch in when they got the ball here and there. You know what I mean? So, all in all, it was a strong finish, man. It was competitive. It was defensive plays. They cared, and the WNBA, they did most of the talking. They said we're gonna send them a message, let them know, we coming to win, and then that's exactly what they did. All you could do is respect it.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like Cardell said, Team WNBA, they was doing all the pregame. They had a lot to say, but Team USA, they came out in the beginning and they was like, we here too. So I think they jumped out to, what was the lead, 11-4 or something like that. So yeah, they kind of punched first, and then Tina and Lisa Leslie had to kind of corral the troops and tell them, hey man, we here to win the game, and they had to back up all they was talking. So they came out, man. They hooped. It was enjoyable. It was what an all-star game is supposed to be like, the collection of best players playing at the highest level. It's not a recreational game. It's supposed to be competitive. You're supposed to play defense. You're supposed to try to win. And that's what we saw. Man, Enrique, she was just on one from jump. They said she was looking for the MVP since the ball went up, and she went out there and got it. John Quayle again, man, just showing her versatility. And like she came out there, played hard in the All-Star game, and got some extra work in the halftime with the 3-point contest. Like who does that? So man, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. Had some drama in the 3-point contest at halftime. Quigley just is she just murdered them, man. That was assassin like what she did, man. She walked him down and got her third trophy. Then going down the stretch of the game, Team WNBA, they just wanted to solidify the win. And this is kind of what we saw last year in the NBA All Star game. That final quarter, that was the competitiveness, and the intensity level raised up, and we saw on their side some guys weren't able to perform as usual. In this game, the people we expected to perform came in to perform. Arike did her thing. Courtney Williams, like you said, Cardell, she had some big buckets down the stretch. But yeah, man, just overall, it was a quality game that I expected. And I'm glad it lived up to the billing.
Yeah, for me, like you guys said, I think we all agreed that the guards would be the difference. And it felt like with Team USA, we know all the talented bigs they had. I also felt like their guards were way too passive, and it caught up to them too. Because you saw, WNBA guards had no issues. Nobody was shy about going to find the shot, going to get the ball. Yeah, they got the ball into the post too, but they went about their business as well. It's one game for Team USA. It's nothing to be concerned about. The other thing is, going to some of the other teams they're going to face, they're not going to have backcourts with Arike and Courtney to chase around and take folks off the dribble. But still, I love the way the Team WNBA took care of business on the glass. They out-rebounded Team USA 41-37. And most importantly, they had 13 offensive rebounds. And, a couple of the big, swings in the game came off the second possessions. It was definitely a fun game. I don't think it's any doomsday type scenario type things to read into anything here. Again, this might be the toughest thing they face in their road to Tokyo. So
you can easily reverse them, and
right.
That's how much talent. Like you can easily just switch. Like y'all play the first half, y'all play the second. You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, if they switched jerseys, we couldn't tell who was who.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, they could have switched jerseys at the half. We'd have been like, cool, that's Team USA. Would nobody be like, oh, nah, that doesn't track. Yeah, it tracks pretty well. The biggest thing to take away, the women's game is in great hands. My God, these talented youngsters. And we've been trying to tell folks it's been too many years in a row, sick of saying it. Hope some of y'all that, don't pay us too much often. Hope you got to see it with your own eyes. That's why it was like that, right? Like you had women on the Team USA that have won MVPs, and you got folks looking for MVPs on the Team WNBA, getting folks out the way. Like it was fun to watch, man. And like Ray, like you said with the 3-point contest, man, I was trying to find a good GIF in our group chat for Jason from the horror movie, because that's what Quigley was on. They steadily walking. You could get in your car, get three towns over. She was over there waiting with the machete. That was her walking him down in the 3-point contest. Clip. And then again, John 6'6" with that. Cardell been screaming since her GW days. So I'm gonna go ahead. He's not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for him. So it was fine. I got you, Cardell. I forgot what it was. It was there in the middle. It's like a couple games in the women's basketball season. Obviously, probably like 5-6 years ago. He's like, yo, Jonquel Jones, put me on to it. I'm like, all right. And then little by little, it's like, well, damn. Then every year after this, there's more. Oh, there's still more.
Listen to me,
there's still more. Like
college is systems. You know what I mean? You don't. If somebody averaging 30, that means they ain't got much else, and coaches trying to win games. College is a system. Like normally, your leading score like 13, 14 points. The roster, the lowest man might be 6 to 14. It's a balanced attack. It's the systems. But bruh, she was getting quadruple doubles in college. Like no boy, it'd be like 20, 20, 10. And 10, it'd be something stupid like that. I'm like, yo, and no one would be saying anything but me. I'm like, I'm like, they in the top 25 every year. They up there dominating 10. That was no question that they was winning that. that was like New England and the AFC East. It was just that's what it was when she was there. I'm just saying. I'm like, where's all this? Where everybody else at? And I'm like, y'all crazy? Like, this is a generational talent, man. You know what I mean? And no one. I'm like, fine. I'll just keep coming. And I got to see something special every night. And the men's were doing work too, so it was a special time at GW's. But a lot of people ain't see. I'm like, yo, all she gotta do is just get used to the league and play for a team that understands what she really is, and that's key. Not some coach that's just gonna try to fit her into a mold that they want her to be. Like, embrace what she is, and now you finally see it. That's why I say, man, she's the best player in the WNBA. No one can do everything she could do. You got a few players that can do a lot, most of what she does, not everything. And she make it look easy as hell. That's what's real disrespectful. It's like she did this tonight, and it's like, yo, you playing against the best players in the world, and it's not fair. So I'm like, look, man, and think about it. Even in the regular season with Connecticut, she's dominating like this, and Alyssa Thomas is out with an ACL tear. So what if she was playing? You know what I mean? All right, I'm just saying. And now she's shooting threes like that. What can you do? Y'all know the game. If y'all had a game plan against John Crow, what can you do to stop her?
You hope she missed. That's it. I mean, and I'm not being funny because the other folks on Connecticut, the youngsters got better. Like the team keeps progressing. So the stuff around her, you can't leave people. Her fellow front court mate was next to her on the All Star team this year. Ron Jones was right next to her. And I'm going to go back to another Jonquel moment. Like I said, Cardell put me on to her, and I'm not going to forget this forever. She came out in the same draft as Breonna Stewart, all right? So we went up to Connecticut to cover the draft. And this is why just media period got to do better. So disrespectful. So the UConn woman, obviously the run that Stewie, Mariah, and Morgan went on was crazy. They go 1, 2, 3. Justly, no one's going to complain about that. You come off a 4-year run like that, I'm not going to get mad. It's fine. It is what it is. But what was disrespectful, Jonquel gets picked a couple spots later. I think the Sparks originally drafted her and then they traded her or whatever. She comes out to talk. It's literally us, 2 other people, and somebody from the Bahamas during her media session after she gets drafted. And again, just looking from a basketball standpoint, like Cardell was talking about, you had 2 special things in that draft. You had Stewie, you went first. Stewie and Jonquel both went in the same round. And folks sitting here lost. It doesn't make any sense. Because even just purely from the basketball standpoint, how do you see one without the other?
Bruh, I talked to some UConn reporters because I think one of those years, I could be wrong, if I remember correctly, one of those years I think GW played UConn in the tournament early, so they came down kind of see her and all that early, and we were talking, and it was Stewie's world, no doubt. They was winning all the national championship with UConn, though. She was doing the thing. It ain't nothing against her. I was like, yo, I think John Quill's gonna be a better pro than her, and I'm talking basketball, and they just like, the UConn arrogance. I got it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, we'll see down the road. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, to me, it's really no difference other than the prestige of the program. One's at UConn at that time, and the other one is at GW that's not known as a powerhouse. Matter of fact, they're not even the top women's program in the area. You know what I mean? It's Maryland, then Georgetown. Then you might get GW, just popping their head out the door here and there throughout their history. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and that's where I think a lot of people get tied up in prestige and image and all the hype and stuff instead of just looking at the results of what's going on right now. And that's how you miss out on something special. So, like, what she doing is special, man. Like, she's on the way to a Hall of Fame career. You know what I mean? So, I enjoyed it, man. I'm glad. Now I look back, I'm like, that was a special time. I'm glad I was smart enough to understand that and just stay locked in, keep covering all that, man, because what they were doing was special. They had them all, and she was a centerpiece.
For sure. And then keep in mind, Team WNBA gets this dub. Candice Paige played 18 minutes and had 5, 5, and 5.
Their defense, that's how they won.
Courtney Vandersloot, 16 minutes. No points, 7 assists.
Look, man.
They let the youngest do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cam Bosh didn't play.
She was hungry.
Cam Bosh didn't play. So
Right.
she had a knock in practice. She didn't play no DT for Team USA. But yeah, man, it was a really good game to watch. I was very happy for again Kalia Copper, Benaja Laney, both deserving of this opportunity, and hope folks got an opportunity to see them because playing for the Liberty, and then I mean folks should be aware of Kalia in Chicago because Chicago's kind of good or whatnot, but folks pay attention to what they pay attention to. So and again, DeWanna Bonner didn't go off. Like
She's been letting Jamal eat all season.
She has. I swear DeWanna's over there in Connecticut. Like, y'all need me? No? Okay.
And Bree Jones. Bree Jones is grown up, so you know what I'm saying? He's eating inside.
But again, is nothing for the team. There's no doomsday scenario for Team USA at all.
Before we go, can we talk about something more serious? This is the Nneka Ogwumike situation. I feel it's beyond foul. She's literally one of the top players in the world. Is she president of the players union?
I think she was. I don't know if she still is.
Okay, she did. She paid her dues, and we literally just saw her in camp a few months ago. We like, all right, good. Then you come out and I name her. Fine. She just wants to play in an Olympic competition, so she goes to her home country, and they say no because she's put too many years in with USA. You don't qualify. Y'all, what are y'all thoughts on it, man? I'm like, damn, dog. Like, what are y'all scared of?
It's trash. It's just trash. Like Nneka deserves to play, and I'm gonna stay in the middle here because I'm not gonna blame all Team USA. I'm blaming fully for not selecting her. There's no reason for that. That I put full blame there. For the Nigerian side of it, I don't know how y'all got an issue with denying her. I don't care what you did with Team USA. You're tripping because if this was soccer, she'd be over there, be no questions asked, whatever, you do what you need to do. It should be over there. So they let Shanae in with like provisions, and they let the younger sister Erica in fully with no issues. But for FIBA as a whole, because I think Holly Rowe and Michelle Vogel was saying they took an opportunity where they could appeal it to FIBA or whatever. FIBA, bro, this is an easy decision. Like, what are you doing? This is a very easy decision. Shouldn't even be this. Yes, let her play. I don't care what happened. Yes. Like the women's game needs to continue to grow. That is an opportunity for a country to get a marquee freaking player on their roster. Yes, this shouldn't even be discussion. But yeah, it's foul, and this is why. Like again, this is why when I know everybody had their TVs on. When you heard that roar for Team WNBA tonight, man, there's been a lot of folks looking at the selection committee kind of funky because of how things been going over the past couple of years. And Nneka is a great example of like that's a travesty. Her whole thing with her, like, how could she be cool to qualify for like the World Cup teams and then left off this roster? There's no good reason. And no disrespect to some of the younger players, they would have been fine missing out. If you could tell Arike she could wait a little bit, you could have told Fees or somebody else they could have waited a little bit too. They gave Nneka her spot. Go ahead, Carter.
And real quick, just to kind of, for those that will watch this and all that, just to kind of give them an understanding of what's going on. It's, in the report, it said the Ogwumike exploring all her options, including a possible application to the Court of Arbitration in sport. The court could expedite a full hearing if both sides agree. FIBA could also allow Ogwumike to participate until there is a hearing. The Nigerian Basketball Federation filed an appeal to FIBA on behalf of Ogwumike and Elizabeth Williams of the Atlanta Dream, who's also denied because of previous involvement with Team USA. The Federation wrote that Ogwumike and Williams were two of the top players that would have made our team one of the strongest at the games. What people may not know is each player was given consent by USA Basketball to play for Nigeria, paid an administrative fee of $10,000 to do so, and hold a Nigerian passport. So they losing money, big money to do this. That's how bad they wanted to play, and then FIBA saying no.
That's wild, man.
It's international body.
What people don't understand, and then shout out to Andrew Bogut, played for All Star, played in the league and all that, and he got a dope podcast. He said what people don't understand is FIBA and Olympics and all that, they're worse than the NCAA with this type of stuff. So if you were listening to NCAA, that should put everything in perspective. So that's what they're dealing with, man. They don't, when the rules are the rules, they don't play like even your sponsorships. Once the Olympic plays start, he said you can't do no, you can't even shout them out nothing. Like, meanwhile, that's what they're paying you to do, to go over there in the Olympics, and that's who pays your money. You see what I'm saying? Forget basketball. What if you're a track star or a swim star and all that? You train and stuff off the dime of your sponsors. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even really pump them up during the Olympics, especially if you're killing stuff other than what you're wearing. So during the meet or whatnot. So it's just wrong, man.
And like you said, they're literally they make the NCAA look like a functional, upright organization. Like it's it's despicable. I really do hope they accidentally do the right thing. I know how hard it is for them to do so. But yeah, like both NECA and Elizabeth Williams, man, let them go play. It's just not that deep. Especially if the country they were tied to released them, we should be done here.
Exactly.
Right. Like
exactly.
Shouldn't even be no conversation.
It's not like they're fighting USA. Like, man, go play for your home team. Cool. But again, this still goes back down, and this is why there's been some shuffling in that committee or whatever. And people gonna be looking at it going forward because some of these decisions, man, it doesn't all add up. Like again, some of these youngsters could have waited. So,
and the worst part about it is 4 years is a long time from now, man.
Well, it's gonna be 3 now, but still.
Oh right, yeah, but even still, like if NECA goes her entire career without participating in the Olympics, that's a travesty. Like that.
One of the most highly decorated athletes of her sport to not go, and it's not like it's because of injury or anything like that. Like that's despicable.
It is, and then you also got factor in the new young stars they're gonna be trying to get up in the mix and stuff when they come out of college as well, man. You know what I mean? You know, I'll throw Beckers into Paige and all that. You know, they're gonna be trying to put her. You know, like I mean, you know, she played a different position. She put the work in. She deserved it. It's not like she's a borderline All Star. She's one of the top players in the game. I only understand what the politics, and this what drives hoopers crazy. Politics, though. Like this, all we ask is give former hoopers, current hoopers, future. All we all ask is just give me what I earned, dog. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, and I'm cool. Just give me what I earned. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it away off some BS, man. Like in Wilson, I agree. We ain't gonna say no names but it's certain players that shouldn't be on this team over her, period.
Man, look, I'm gonna call it what it is. I've been a UConn fan all my life. Have no issue saying it. There are UConn players on this roster that should not be on this roster. Like even with the jokes with its team UConn or whatever, like ha, that's sad. People's roster spots should not. Some folks haven't done enough. They haven't done enough. All right, they just haven't done enough. I have no issue with Asia. She just won a freaking MVP. Cool.
Yeah.
Like if that's the bar for a youngster, I got no issue with Stewie. You've accomplished enough as a youngster. The rest of y'all, no. And I'm not being mean, just being completely honest. Love you to death, whatever. But if that's the bar for the youngsters, and you didn't hit the bar for the youngsters, don't throw them on there. Disrespectful. Don't throw them on there. It's just plain and simple. Don't throw them on there. There's no reason for There's no reason for Candice not to be on here. Because if you're gonna let some older folks go, then let the other old folks go too.
Well, they robbed her in the last Olympics. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on internally behind that, but you're right. You know, and they try to make it seem like injuries, and then she came back, kill them. You know what I mean? So it's always BS, and that's when like Naneka, she's trying to come back from injuries. We don't know if these injuries gonna be something that lingers, and then she may not have an opportunity later on. Like next time is not promised, man. That's why I give them some. Give her. It ain't even giving her. She earned it. Reward her with the spot she earned.
Yep. Whichever side that is on, she's done more than enough to be a starter for either country. So, I mean, it's just not that difficult. Really do hope FIBA finds a way to do the right thing because it is oh so hard for them to do so. It's very challenging for them to do so. But yeah, that's with a lot of noise. And again, For folks that don't cover the W that much or follow too much, that's why you heard that giant roar. Like there's a lot of people that feel some type of way about the decisions that were made with Team USA. And the last thing I'm gonna do is tell them that they're not justified in feeling that way.
No, they're not. And I know you said some youngins don't deserve to be there from UConn.
Some older folks don't.
Some old heads don't deserve it. No, they had their time. Yep. It's all good.
Like they don't need to be going for number 5.
Man.
Like it's fine, but they don't need to be going for number 5. It's
not all right, bro. They got 4 of them things, and one more ain't gonna hurt though. Like let chill.
I would have been cool. You could have just put them on the coaching staff and let them go with them one more time. Like that's cool, but they didn't need to be like. And that was something that was done purely from some, whoever made the decision. It is what it is. But this is why people feel some type of way because they're not who they were in previous years where it was no question when they were selected. And that's not a knock on them. They don't choose themselves. So I'm not mad at either one of them, but dog, that ain't it. It's just not it.
The responsibility lies somewhere and it ain't on the players.
And they're going to go on a hide and everything else and not talk about it. Like the only one person that gets talked about on the selection committee is Gino. It's the only one person that people throw his name out there that's on the selection committee. You had one person that actually left the committee, period, and got a new job or whatever, but that's glossed over. And again, I'm holding all folks accountable. I don't care who's on it or whatever. My whole thing is if you can throw Gino's name out there, throw the whole group out there because they're all responsible. That's my only thing. I'm not saying Gino's absolved. I don't know what he's done. It's not my business. I'm just saying it's easy for if you can separate him from that group. He's not the only one making the decisions. Man, put them all on blast. They all need to be held accountable for whatever the decision is. And even if I'm even cool with if you want to double and triple down on your decision, but you can come out and put your face to it and stand by it. Cool, I'll fall back. At least you still by it. I don't have to agree with you, but I don't like this whole the committee said. That's it.
Why is it a committee? Because on the men's side, it's the directors, Angelo and soon to be Grant Hill. They kind of select things, and now Don's coaching. So why is Gino even connected to that? If you ain't coaching no more, you should be off. You shouldn't even be a part of that no more. You're a college coach.
I don't know. And that's the thing. I don't even know.
That's why his name is out there a lot.
Yeah.
Because what ties do you have to this now that you no longer coaching? It's Dawn's. She's coaching now. So if anything, she should be on the selection committee. Like who you want? Because you got to go to war.
They don't let the coach choose. Period. Like that whole side of that joint is weird.
But they let them get on the committee though. All right. All right.
Oh man, it's craziness, man.
This stuff giving me a headache, man. The politics, man. We just got out of a bad relationship with politics, man. Look, we divorced. Happy about him, happier. I ain't trying to deal with no on the basketball side. I just hope she get the chance to play, man.
Yeah, she deserves it. Hopefully, you do the right thing. But again, we'll be back Friday for exhibition. For their exhibition on Friday, they got the women's and the men's have exhibition on Fridays and Sunday. We'll be back for those, and then get over obviously to FocusTV.com. Go to the Finest Magazine YouTube page, My Motorsports YouTube page for interviews and whatnot. We got those posted up there. We're getting those up there little by little as well. So you guys have a good night. We'll see you guys very, very, very soon because it's gonna be a busy 2 weeks or whatnot till all this is over. Very, very busy. Y'all have a great night.